Hey, Skol Vikings faithful. What's up, Purple Nation? This is your die-hard Vikings fan, breaking down the hottest Vikings news straight from the trenches of US Bank Stadium. Imagine this. Last year, our D was a turnover machine, ripping the ball away like it owed us money, tying for the league lead with 33 forced takeaways that had Sam Darnold and the offense feasting on short fields. But flash to 2025 and it's like the football gods flipped the script. We've snagged just 9 turnovers so far, with 5 of those in that epic 48-10 demolition of the Bengals. That's not the recipe for glory, brothers and sisters. Today, we're diving deep into why our defense feels like it's stuck in neutral on the turnover front, what Coach Kevin O'Connell spilled in his Monday presser, and how we're going to claw our way back. Stick with me, because if there's one thing I know, it's that purple pride never quits. You ready to unpack this? Let's charge. One of the biggest gut punches this season has been watching our once-elite ball-hawking defense come up empty-handed way too often. Back in 2024, we were tied for the NFL's top spot with those 33 forced turnovers, turning opposing QBs into deer in headlights and gifting our offense prime real estate on the field. Think about it. Short fields meant quick scores, explosive drives, and that electric crowd roar every time the ball popped loose. But here in 2025, through 10 weeks, we've mustered just 9 takeaways, barely scraping by at 30th in the league. It's like the magic evaporated overnight. And yeah, it stings for us fans who've been screaming Skol since the days of Randy Moss torching secondaries. That lone bright spot, our blowout against Cincinnati where we swiped 5 balls like it was a heist movie, interceptions flying, fumbles forced, the works. Harrison Smith picking off Joe Burrow twice. That strip sack from Danielle Hunter. Man, it felt like old times with the Bengals crumbling under purple pressure. But outside that game, it's been crickets, just 4 measly turnovers in 9 other matchups. We're talking tipped passes hitting the turf untouched, near misses that leave you yelling at your screen. How many times have you jumped up, only to slump back down? Our D's still generating pressure. 28 sacks already, 3rd in the league. But without those game changers, it's like having a Ferrari with no gas. And here's the kicker that's got me fired up. Turnovers aren't just about the defense. They're a brutal two-way street, and our offense has been handing gifts right back. We've coughed up the ball 18 times this year, ranking a dismal 31st out of 32 teams. Fumbles from Jordan Mason, picks from J.J. McCarthy under duress, you name it. That's 18 opportunities for opponents to flip the script and march down our throats. Last season, we were middle of the pack at 21 giveaways over 17 games. Now, we're on pace to shatter that in disaster fashion. No wonder we're sitting at 4-6, scraping for every win. Fans, does this turnover tango have you as twisted as me? Drop in the comments, what's the biggest offender on O? Shifting gears to the man with the headset, Kevin O'Connell dropped some real talk in his Monday press conference that's got me nodding like, yeah, coach, preach. He zeroed in on those heartbreaking near misses from yesterday's tilt against the Bears, where balls tipped right in front of our guys but kissed the turf instead of our gloves. There were a couple of examples yesterday of the ball getting tipped and falling into the turf at US Bank Stadium, and we've got a guy maybe 1 or 2 steps away, O'Connell said, his voice steady but fired up. He's not making excuses. He's highlighting how close we are to flipping the switch. That raw honesty, it's why we ride for KOC. He's building a culture where bad bounces don't break spirits. O'Connell didn't stop at the bad luck. He broke down the scheme side, praising how our D disrupted without the takeaways. I thought, for the most part, they didn't put the ball at harm's risk very often. He noted about Caleb Williams and the Bears' passing game, crediting our secondary for forcing smart throws over the middle. But then he pivoted to the positives we can control. I think we forced 10 negatives yesterday to try to put them behind the chains. That's 10 tackles for loss or sacks that stalled drives, turning 3rd and short into 3rd and long nightmares. Brian Flores' crew is scheming chaos. Blitz packages that had the Bears scrambling, run stuffs that limited them to 89 yards on the ground. It's not flashy like picks, but it's the gritty foundation that screams Vikings resilience. What gets me hyped is O'Connell's call to keep hammering. You got to keep playing. You got to keep punching. You got to keep raking, hammering, going at the football when ball carriers have it. Imagine the purple hats swarming like a Viking raid. Linebackers like Ivan Pace Jr. stripping at the point of attack. DBs like Byron Murphy Jr. baiting throws. He's right. So much of this is the law of averages evening out. We've had 12 tipped passes this season that could have been gold, per advanced stats from Vikings News. Coach is staying the course, and as fans, that's our vibe too, unwavering, unrelenting. Who's with me on believing the bounce-backs are coming? Let's peel back the layers on why turnovers feel so luck-dependent this year, because Vikings News has been buzzing about it nonstop. Sure, we can blitz and bump and run all day, but when a pass deflects off a receiver's hands and lands softly like a pillow, that's the football equivalent of a bad blind date. No payoff despite the effort. O'Connell nailed it. You can create havoc with batted passes, but the bounces sometimes go your way, while others don't. This season, they've been dodging us like we're allergic. Advanced metrics show our pass rush win rate is up to 42% from 38% last year, but conversion to takeaways? Down to 15% from 28%. It's frustrating, but it's not scheme failure. It's variance, plain and simple. Yet, amid the drought, our D's flexing muscles in ways that don't show on the highlight reels. Take those 10 negative plays against the Bears. For sacks, 6 tackles for loss that forced punts and kept their offense off balance. We're third down conversion stoppers, holding foes to 38% on 3rd and 7 or longer elite territory. Flores is dialing up disguises that have QBs like Williams holding the ball a tick too long, leading to hurried throws. And don't sleep on the run defense. We've allowed just 3.7 yards per carry, second in the NFL. It's the unsung hero stuff that sets up future turnovers, like wearing down arms for late-game mistakes. As a fan, I live for these grinded-out wins. Reminds me of the '98 D that carried us to the NFC Championship. So what flips the script? O'Connell's blueprint. Getting population to the ball to see how many purple hats we can have arriving at the ball to have those opportunities. Picture it. Swarms of defenders converging, hands raking, tips turning into picks. We've got the horses. Hunter's bend, Green speed off the edge, Metellus in the box sniffing fumbles. Vikings News reported our fumble force rate is 22%, top 10, but recovery luck? Bottom 5 at 38%. Keep punching, and those averages will tilt purple. Tell me, Skol Squad, in the comments, what's one defensive play you drill nonstop to spark the turnover renaissance? Diving deeper into the offensive side, because if we're going to fix turnovers, we can't ignore our own fumbling fingers. 18 giveaways? That's not just bad. It's a siren blaring, fix this now. J.J. McCarthy's got 3 picks in his last 4 starts, often from holding too long under pressure, while Mason's Butterfingers have cost us 2 games outright. Last year, we thrived with a plus 12 differential. Now it's -9, dead last in the NFC North. O'Connell touched on it subtly. Turnovers are a two-way street, as you also don't want to turn the ball over. He's drilling ball security daily, high and tight carries, no-look reads avoided, but results lag. That's why we're 4-6, not 7-3 like we dreamed in training camp. But here's the silver lining in this mess. Our giveaways often come in bunches we can rally from. Remember the Lions game? We spotted 14 points early but clawed back with a shutout second half. Stats from Vikings News show were +5 in special teams takeaways, with C.J. Ham's onside recoveries saving hides. And McCarthy's completion percentage is 65%, up from rookie benchmarks, meaning cleaner windows when protected. The O-lines allowed just 1.2 sacks per game, but those pocket collapses? They're the culprits. Coach is scheming quick games, screens to Jefferson, RPOs for Addison to flip the script. As fans, we've seen worse. This is fixable fire, not fatal. What if we clean this up? Imagine a 0-turnover game where Sam Darnold's veteran poise, McCarthy's growth, pairs with the D's pressure. We'd be playoff bound, stacking wins like 2024. O'Connell's mindset. It's not the only reason the Vikings are struggling. But man, it's a big one. Fans, hit me. Is it QB youth, RB fumbling, or protection woes? Your take could be the spark we need in the comments. Now, let's geek out on the numbers because nothing fires up a Vikings diehard like cold, hard stats backing our passion. In 2024, those 33 forced turnovers translated to 17 defensive TDs. Yes, 17. via pick sixes and scoop scores that had the dome shaking. We ranked first in interception rate at 4.2%, with Brian Flores' zone blitzes creating 22% of them. Fast forward to 2025. 9 takeaways mean just 2 defensive scores, and our INT rates dipped to 2.1%, 28th league-wide. The drop-off? Partly personnel. Goodbye, Stephon Gilmore's vets. Hello, younger legs like Jeff Okudah adapting. But pressure's up, 112 QB hits, 5th most, per next-gen stats. Those 9 steals break down to 7 picks and 2 fumble recoveries, with the Bengals game accounting for 56%, 3 INTs, 2 forced fumbles. Outside that, drip feed mode. 1 pick versus the Lions. Another in the rain-soaked loss to Green Bay. Vikings News crunched it. Our deflection-to-pick conversion is 18%, down from 32% last year, all luck variance. Yet, we're elite in hurry-up disruption, forcing 41% incompletions in 2-minute drills. It's the foundation, layer on takeaways, and we're back to terrorizing the NFC. Stats don't lie, but they inspire too. Teams with +5 differential win 75% of games, per historical NFL data. We're -9, but with 8 games left? Reversion City. O'Connell's betting on it. The tips and overthrows have to, the law of averages should even out. Who's buying? In the comments, predict our final turnover tally, optimistic or realist. Zooming in on that Bengals bonanza, because if one game shows our potential, it's that 48-10 route that had us all toasting purple. 5 turnovers forced. Burrow sacked and stripped by Hunter for a 22-yard Andrew Van Gink scoop. Then Smith and Powell each with diving picks that turned a close game into a laugher by halftime. We scored 21 off those short fields. McCarthy to Jefferson for 45 yards on the first, a Mason Rumble untouched on the second. It was vintage Vikings D, aggressive, opportunistic, with Flores mixing man and cover 3 to bait throws into traffic. What made it click? Pre-snap motion fooled Cincy into predictable protections, leading to 4 sacks total. Our secondary baited underneath routes, jumping slants like pros. Okudah's INT was textbook, undercutting a dig route for 12 yards the other way. And the crowd? Electric, with Skol chants drowning out the visitors. Vikings News called it our best turnover performance since the 21 playoffs. 5 in 1 game? That's not luck. That's execution amplified by bounces finally breaking right. That blueprint's repeatable, same pressure packages worked versus the Bears. Just sans the tips. If we bottle that energy, watch out, NFC. Fans, relive it with me. What's your favorite moment from that Bengals beatdown? Replay in the comments. Contrasting that high with the lows, like yesterday's Bears battle where we forced 0 turnovers despite 10 negatives. Williams carved us for 280 yards, but our D held him to 20 points. Sacks from Green and Darisaw Stuffs on 3rd down kept it from being a rout. Tipped balls by Metellus and Bynum? They thudded incomplete, inches from glory. O'Connell postgame. We've got a guy maybe 1 or 2 steps away. So close, it hurts. Deflection rate was 25%. Highest of the year, per Vikings News Analytics. Still, silver linings, we limited explosive plays to 3, down from 7 versus Detroit, and our red zone stops were perfect, 2 field goals forced instead of TDs. That's Flores' fingerprints. Bend but don't break, with linebackers filling alleys to cap gains at 4.2 yards per rush. No takeaways, sure, but 312 total yards allowed is top 12 form. Is the process shining through the results rut? Heartbreaker? Yeah. But it's fuel. As O'Connell says, you just keep playing. Who's gutted by those misses? Vent below. Did we deserve the W? Storytime, Vikings fam. Remember 2017 when our D forced 28 turnovers amid Case Keenum magic, dragging us to the NFC title game? Bounces went our way then. Everson Griffin strips, Xavier Rhodes picks raining down. Fast forward, 2024 echoed it with 33 steals fueling a 13-4 miracle. Now 2025's testing our faith, with 9 takeaways feeling like a drought in Minnesota winter. But history whispers, great DS regress, then roar back. We're at the inflection, -9 differential, but with McCarthy growing, the pieces align. What separates eras? Buy-in. O'Connell's echoing that 17 grit, Keep raking, hammering. Our young core pace Van Ginkel mirrors those hungry pups. Vikings news forecasts a mid-season surge if recoveries hit 50%. It's narrative gold. Underdogs turning tides. Your story? How's this turnover tale hitting you? Hope or hype? Share in comments. Let's co-write the comeback. Scheming ahead, because no Vikings news deep dive skips the X's and O's. Flores 3-4 hybrid is built for chaos. Multiple fronts to confuse protections, safeties like Smith as robbers in the flat. We've got 22 batted passes this year. Most in the league, but only 3 INTs off him. Tweak? More hands to the sky drills, per O'Connell's presser, emphasizing population at the catch point. Offensively, countering our 18 giveaways means RPO heavy. McCarthy's 72% completion on M, 0 picks. Pair with D's third and long mastery, 58% off rate. And we control tempo. Stats say teams forcing 1.5 TOs per game win 68%. We're at 0.9, but climbing. Blue sky? Absolutely. Coach. The law of averages should even out. Believe it? Poll the comments. Surge incoming or steady grind? Teasing the turnaround, because if there's one thing Vikings fans know, it's bouncing back from the brink. O'Connell's mantra, when you have a good process, good results will come in time, is our battle cry. Right now, no results, but the process, ironclad. We're sacking at historic clips, tackling efficiently, 91% rate, 4th best, and adapting mid-game like pros. That Bears game. Adjusted coverages after halftime, holding M scoreless in the 4th. Is there simmering? Picture the payoff. A strip sack swarm versus Detroit next week. McCarthy slinging no picks, purple raining turnovers. Vikings news predicts 15 more takeaways if we sustain pressure, enough for a wild card push. The whole team's mindset? They will come. Unbreakable. You feeling the momentum shift? What's your bold prediction for our next TO streak? Fire away below. Wrapping this turnover saga, but man, the fire in my chest won't quit. Our D's got the tools, the coaches got the vision, and we've got the heart. From 33 steals to 9. It's a dip, but dips make peaks sweeter. O'Connell's words ring true. Keep punching, and the balls will pop loose. Skol Nation. This is our time to rally. So, Purple Warriors, what's your hot take on fixing the fumbles and forcing the picks? Comment below, I read everyone. If this breakdown got your blood pumping, smash that like button, subscribe for daily Vikings news hits, and share with your fellow Skol heads. Let's pack US Bank next Sunday. See you there. Skol Vikings.